CyberBuddy-AI Red Team focused on DefenseClaw. Now, I've been building out this open source Red Team lab for Agentic AI defense. This is using open source capabilities provided by Cisco. Now, the goal is to have self-contained governance, scanning, runtime enforcement, and evidence collection for Agentic AI. I've also mapped this to MITRE ATT&CK, MITRE ATLAS, OWASP's LLM framework as the data is being ingested in Splunk. So let me introduce the platform to you. Now, the home page is going to provide you some insights into the platform itself. We've also done a couple of things. We can't realize every single scenario. So I've made a decision to have some things that are real that goes through the entire workflow, and then some that are simulated. This gives you an ability to see what would have happened and our ability to review those logs within the Splunk platform. Currently, I've got 34 scenarios, and we're leveraging the 3 frameworks as I discussed earlier. Now, we can very quickly start our journey map, or we can browse scenarios. But remember, this is lab only. Malicious skills and planted secrets are for controlled testing. Never use them against production systems or real credentials. Now, the lab is self-contained for the most part. We'll talk a little bit about the components coming up shortly. So what this lab demonstrates, well, we have admission control, and we'll showcase some of these capabilities. Now, it includes scan skills, MCP servers, and code before they load, quarantine malicious packages, and generate AI bomb evidence. Runtime guardrails, we're going to inspect prompts and tool calls. We'll block correlated secret, read and egress destructive commands and injection attempts, and then evidence and Splunk. So every decision lands in the local audit and sent using Splunk's HTTP endpoint collection mechanism into the Splunk platform. I've also created modern SOC-style dashboards. We've also aligned this to the frameworks that we discussed earlier. Now, in regards to the frameworks, we have MITRE ATT&CK, MITRE ATLAS, OWASP's large language models for applications. And again, any point here, you can pivot to learn more about each one of those frameworks. And as I mentioned, you can start your journey or pivot into scenarios. But let's first go to DefenseClaw. Now, this gives you an overview of DefenseClaw and the policies themselves. So what is DefenseClaw? Some useful commands, how a verdict is built within the platform, DefenseClaw's observe and action capability, and we also include human in the loop. Now, this is just where the human is prompted whether or not to proceed. We also talk about the default posture and some of the options that are available to you, and you can create your own custom policies. Again, some operator commands that are available and related links. This includes things like MITRE, ATT&CK, and ATLAS, and OWASP, again, making it easier for you to pivot to those frameworks, but also around DefenseClaw's homepage and all the details and stories and capabilities that are associated to the program. As I mentioned earlier, we can run real-time, where it runs through the entire workflow. We'll talk more about that in a second, as well as simulated scenarios, where we may not have all the components to really run it through the entire pipeline, but we can simulate it. And here's an example of some of the scripts that are real and some that are simulated. Like I said earlier, we have over 34 scenarios. Now, when we go into the journey, this is going to give you an idea of how to deploy the technology. Obviously, this page is deployed as part of the technology. So you'll see this in the README before you actually do the deployment. But once installed, if you do need to rerun the install, start a brand new, fresh setup, this kind of walks you through the steps to do that. It's pretty simple to get this up and running, and it only takes a few minutes. And I've broken it up into multiple different phases, from orientation to policy baseline, run some core scenarios. We'll switch to action and compare. We then will review the data within Splunk. Once we're comfortable with the results, we can mark that as complete and move forward with the next scenario. All right, let's go to Lab Guide. Now, this will track all the scenarios once you mark them as completed. Again, calls out what is the lab, provided a visual of the architecture. Again, this is all self-contained. I happen to be running this on a Mac. And the only caveat here is the lab portal is in fact run inside the Docker instance. The only thing that's running outside of Docker is OpenClaw and DefenseClaw. Now, Ollama is running inside Docker. If you're really looking for performance, which we're not in this case, then you probably would want to run that direct versus inside a Docker instance. But everything you see here is automatically deployed, including the portal. Then I highlight the flow for the full agent stack. This is when we're doing a live scenario. And then I provide the path to the security operations center, in this case Splunk, where it's OpenClaw, DefenseClaw. Then we've got the HTTP event collector that then sends to Splunk, which then cross-correlates against the frameworks to make sure that it highlights the TTPs to the activities that we tested. Again, here's the deployment, and then some insight into using CyberBuddy. Now, observe actions. These are toggling the guardrails, and I've also included a terminal within the web browser. So there's this host bridge that allows us to use the browser in Docker to access the terminal itself to make the changes. You'll go through the scenarios. There'll be some descriptions. You access the terminal, and then you'll complete that particular lab. I've tagged real versus simulated versus synthetic, and I'll talk about synthetic a little bit later. Step-by-step test loop, so it just gives you kind of a walkthrough as you go through the process, and then some of the value and learning outcomes that we're hoping to gain during this exercise. And then we have skills that OpenClaw could leverage. And this is where things can get dangerous, especially if you're downloading these skills on your own and hoping that they are not nefarious, but in fact are. And these are some examples of some of those that may, in fact, put you at risk. So this one's around FTD config backup, but it is a malicious lab skill. So it searches for running config, secrets, SNMP communities. It reads a planted lab FTD config and then posts that to a mocked exfiltration site. Obviously something that we would never want to have happen. The other one is around identity services engines and basically harvesting credentials. Again, something that you would never want in the environment. And this is really a great example of where DefenseClaw can help protect an organization. When we get into scenarios, again, I call out real versus simulated. You can change without having to go to the command line, the guardrail mode. You can move it into observe, action, and then you can also add human in the loop. Now, this is not a mode, but it is a setting that once you enable will prompt the user if they want to proceed or not. If we go into a scenario, again, we highlight that this is a real scenario versus a simulated scenario. We can see the policy mode that's currently set and adjusted accordingly. We see the path visualization, and then we've got a description of the lab and the frameworks and the tactics, techniques that may be associated to the scenario. I provide you with the full prompt. You can look at the test script. We're going to jump right into the terminal from here. It'll show you whether or not it's healthy, meaning that the host bridge has access to the terminal. We can change our policy settings. I can very quickly look at the status. Malicious skill admission. We can see total scans are 21. If I run the script, it'll go ahead and run through that process. We are in action mode. And once that script is complete, we could go ahead and just look at status real quick. And we can see total scans is now at 22. We can open this in Splunk and look at that event data in Splunk. And we can see the action, the execution, which is real. This is a tag I've added. And we can see the rule ID and the scenario that was run. I've also developed a dashboard. And the dashboard is going to actually cross-correlate those frameworks to the events that were triggered. Then we can see MITRE ATT&CK, OWASP, MITRE ATT&CK, and more. We can always go back to scenarios. We can select it here to say complete, or we can do it within the scenarios dashboard. If we wanted to clear the scenarios and start over, there's no mandate to clear them to start. I've only added that so you can track what you're completing. And again, as you go through and add completions in the lab guide, it shows you the progress overall. If we go to Splunk map, again, we see the architecture. I reiterate around real, sim, and synthetic. Synthetic is that we're just going to send a bunch of events into Splunk. So we have some data if we want to spend a whole lot of time in Splunk versus playing with the DefenseClaw capabilities. Here's the end-to-end path. We also got fields on the wire. We've got Splunk enrichment that I mentioned earlier. And then here are the mappings to the frameworks, and then how anybody can reproduce this. And then we've also created a per scenario hunt pattern for every single scenario that we have. We go to MITRE OWASP. These are all the framework mappings that we have built in based on the scenarios that we're running. When we go to terminal, again, very quickly, it tests to see that the bridge is connected to the terminal and you have access to it. But I can run some commands that are restricted. So you'll see the allow listed on the bottom. Well, I can run certain commands, including the DefenseClaw commands to look at policy, change mode, and much, much more. When we go to acronyms, we're just including this to ensure that everyone's understanding the acronym and what it stands for. And then status. So again, host bridge shows you that it's healthy. Log source tags I've called out earlier. You can always pivot to Splunk right from here. I also provide you some useful searches within Splunk. And then we've got the recent local audit events that are taking place. And you can see that they are tagged with the source. So synthetic means that we've generated this either when we launched and built CyberBuddy Lab, or we can do this within the Splunk map portal. And I'll show you that in a second. And real, which is running through a scenario that's going through the entire pipeline, or simulated. We ran one of the scenarios that are simulated to give you an idea of what would take place and what the event would look like in Splunk. So let me show you that here. We can go into scenarios. Let's go ahead and run a simulated scenario. We'll go to terminal. We'll go ahead and run the script. Go to status. And you can see that that prompt injection was certainly triggered. I could then generate 6 months of data here as well. So just clicking that will give us lots of data within Splunk, and then we can create all kinds of different queries and mash it together with other data points to make some interesting dashboards. And you can see here the source is shown as synthetic. Now that's a quick intro into CyberBuddy's AI red team capabilities using DefenseClaw. Let me know what you think.